Welcome to the Water Tower Podcast. This is Jay Yoder with Nick Milan over here to my left, possibly to my right, depending on how you're watching us. But anyways, Water Tower Podcast, unlucky, number 13. We made it 1-3. Big 1-3 in the house. Unlucky. Must be unlucky because we were going to have a guest on. But, you know, stuff happened. There's a storm in New York. Our guest lives there. And apparently the internet went out. And, yeah, till 4 a.m. is when the storm pulls over. So, Courtney, we love you. And we'll get you back. We'll get you on shortly.
See you soon.
But anyways,
absolutely.
What's going on?
You know, I was laughing about you saying, depending on how they're looking, it might be your right. I think it's always going to be your left. But depending on how they're watching, it might be their right.
Oh, yeah. Science. Also, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button or don't. Give us alerts. If you want some alerts, follow us on Instagram, water_tower_podcast. And check us out, watertowerpodcast.com. But hit YouTube's where we like to be. Hit that subscribe. And so, Nick, how's your day going?
My day is going great, Jay. It just got better now that I'm here with you and these fine folks here. So, 13th episode. Damn, it's going by fast, Jay.
1-3. Man, we Nick, you got an alert today. What'd that say?
Yeah, well, I got an alert today saying that we had some comments on our YouTube page and our Instagram pages, and pretty interesting. They think that we're trying to cancel Joe Rogan, Jay.
Damn, the Joe Rogan crowd went hard on us. I ran an ad, so we ran a couple different things. Like we got a video on Facebook. We could only put a picture on Instagram and IG stories. IGTV, which we do, sporadically. We usually wait a few days after we release the episode because we want YouTube views, let's be honest. But and Instagram doesn't really do much for us, but we get a lot of views on there, so we like to give people free shit on there too. But it's all free. But it's I meant to put Joe Rogan and Joey Diaz canceled ? Like Anchorman canceled. And
it's all about grammar, Jay.
I did it on all of them except one, and the one I ran the ad on, and it was just Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan canceled, NASCAR shows of true colors. There's just period canceled. Holy crap. So I ran an ad targeting Joe Rogan supporters, and they went off. They didn't even watch it, but they went off. I think a few people might have, but one guy, I forget his name, some cuck, but he was like... You can't cancel Joe Rogan ever, man. Man, I wear a bandana, man. I didn't want to. And he's like, you guys do nothing, make a couple jokes. And obviously, I've never watched their shit, even though I'm the biggest Joe Rogan fan ever. But you guys have been, when Joe Rogan's dead, they'll remember him and never remember you guys. And if this is clickbait, that's on you. So I just replied with a thumbs up and was like,
thanks for following.
He didn't even follow us, I don't think. I invited him to our Facebook page. And then I was like, yeah, man, all hail Joe Rogan. Wink, wink. And then an hour later, he deleted his long ass essay comment. And then there's another guy, he put, can never cancel Ho Rogan.
Oh, I seen that.
That's Joe Rogan, sir. Have some respect.
Don't ever talk to Joe Rogan that way.
Hey, motherfuckers, if you want to challenge me to a Joe Rogan trivia competition, bring it. I've been watching since day one. Probably year two, actually. But I went back and watched all of them. I'm a huge Joe Rogan fan.
Jay knows his shit.
I don't watch a lot of them nowadays. I'm kind of picky and selective because I'm watching too many podcasts these days. Really big on Hotboxin.
Oh, yeah. Love Mike Tyson Hotboxing.
But you little bitches, you Joe Rogan little bitches, bring it on. Let's have a Joe Rogan trivia.
Jay
I'm ready.
Knows his shit.
I'm going to get whooped to watch.
And you know what, dude? That's the problem, right? People just read headlines. We just talked about this. Maybe it was a private conversation, but fuck, people read headlines and, these guys fucking talking shit about Joe Rogan. Fuck no. All we do is talk about what Joe Rogan talks about.
Yeah, we even talked about this. This podcast is just us reviewing Joe Rogan podcasts.
Right.
But, hey, Hotboxin, Waka Flocka Flame with Mike Tyson.
I haven't seen it.
I was up from midnight to 6 a.m. running through some podcasts and pulling all-nighter. And, dude, Hotboxin's one of my favorite. Mike Tyson, motherfucker, is so deep.
He's real as fuck, dude.
Drugs did a lot for positivity in that guy's life.
Hey, toad.
Yeah. And
but you know what, though? I was listening to, I think it was LL Cool J today at work, and I think he was crying on the podcast. I didn't watch it because I only listened to the podcast on my phone, so I didn't see the video, but it sounded like he was kind of getting choked up, which is kind of emotional for me. I'm sitting there at work, and he's talking deep. That's how deep he gets. He gets so emotional that...
Mike Tyson was crying?
Yeah, Mike Tyson was.
Yeah, I think he's done that a couple times.
It's like, oh, shit, this... This is fucking real, man.
Well, and that's great because it shows that his ego is pretty much dissolved, that he's very comfortable being vulnerable in front of tons of people, guests. But I know him and LL Cool J, I think, go way back.
Oh, dude, they're the same age. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, dude.
Way back. They go way
Are they
back.
52 or something? Or?
Yeah, 53, I think.
Yeah, they're all like Joe Rogan's that age. Dude, Dr. Dre's up in his 50s, Snoop Dogg.
And dude, it was a 3-hour podcast and it fucking went fast because they're just talking about real ass shit, being kids, growing up in the same neighborhoods, and in LL going to fights, and his family. Actually, he did some heritage, found out that his family were professional boxers.
I did watch that. He was related to some famous boxers.
Yeah, right.
From slavery to boxing champ.
Exactly. Actually, his great grandfather or something like that won his freedom in a boxing match.
Yep.
Fucking insane.
And Mike Tyson knows all these guys because Mike Tyson's actually a big historian for boxing.
Right.
Because he watched all the films growing up.
Fucker knows his shit.
But all those films, I forget, there's some trainer there that had it set up, but Mike Tyson would literally rehearse the black and white ones, watch them, and Jack Johnson and all those guys. And they took that collection. I don't know if the History Channel took it, but they kind of duplicated the collection. And that's a lot of boxing history now. So like, I believe that, one of his trainers or something kind of got that going. Wow. So without that guy, all this shit could be gone.
Wow, dude, that's amazing. Yeah, well, listening to Mike Tyson over the last, and you know what, I was barely introduced to this show maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. And, I'm loving it. I'm loving that podcast.
Yeah, it's great. Damn, he's so knowledgeable, and I like that he lets people know what's up too. Like, hey, I'm the big dog. Someone said they interviewed with him, was like sitting next to a pit bull. You think it's nice, but you're just not quite sure. But I want to check something real quick.
Do you know who Logic is?
Yeah, the half white, half black rapper.
Yeah, right. I listened to that one today too, and although it didn't get real deep on that, it's still like, it's funny when you think of someone like Logic, who's very famous, but he's a new famous, right? Mm-hmm. And sitting with the legend, like he just kept on reiterating, like, I can't believe I'm sitting here, interviewing with Mike Tyson, like this, smoking weed with Mike Tyson. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, and and his knowledge, like some guy asked him a Conor McGregor question, and you could tell he was like a boxing fan. I assume. I actually just saw the clips. I didn't watch the full episode of this one. I forget who it was, but he's like, "Hey, Mike, what do you think it's like with like? Tell me seriously, what do you think about like Conor McGregor and Mayweather? Like, come on." And he's like, "Oh, McGregor's the shit. Like McGregor." And the guy's like, "No, but seriously, it's like kind of a spectacle." He's like, "Listen, that guy's an MMA guy. He went, 12 rounds or something? 12 rounds? I forget when he got knocked out, but he's like, he went 7 rounds or 12 rounds.
Right. I think it was more like 7.
The best boxer to ever exist. He went that far, the most technical boxer. Do you understand that? Do you understand? Because he's a huge MMA fan too. So he knows what would really go down on the street. He knows. But even just to do boxing, he goes, he came over and, Mayweather was supposed to go to MMA. That never happened. That was the deal. But he talked all this shit and, who knows? You never know. Mayweather might pop up in MMA.
He'd get fucked up.
Well, he's not the first. Do you know another boxer did that?
No.
James Toney. Remember him?
No.
Scary motherfucker. James Toney? Dude, just scary, yoked black dude, just kind of got that gangster vibe.
Never heard of him.
He fucking hounded Dana White, would show up and be like, I want to fight. And Dana was like, dude, it's a different sport, man. Like, because Dana White knows, like, this dude's going to get wrecked. And he's like, he's probably looking for fame. He's kind of chubby now. He's a retired boxer, I think. And Dana White, I'm going to go to your fucking house. I'm going to, so he was getting like crazy and like jumping the cameras. Hey, I want that fight. Like being aggressive. So Dana White's like, all right, we'll give you Randy Couture at like 40 something years old. All right, bitch, you want that? Randy just ankle picked that dude and just sat on top of him and just got, pounded him a little bit. And then I think he ended up choking him out like in the beginning of the first round.
That's fucking hilarious.
He got up and never heard from him again. But he badass boxer, James Toney.
Took his check and ran.
Yeah, he might have did some other stuff with Tank Abbott or something. I forget. But
Tank.
Yeah, man, the jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and that takes years, man.
But going back to Mike Tyson, he knows his fucking shit, bro. Like every time I hear him talk about the legacy, everything that LL Cool J was talking about with having heritage, he knew it. And even LL was like, oh shit, like my fucking great-great-grandpa's history,
Well, there's so Jack Johnson's a boxer that I think they probably mentioned on that podcast.
Yeah, they did.
I listened to, I think it's Hardcore History. It's an awesome podcast. There's 2 of them. One with the Borelli, he's an Italian guy, and then one with some white dude, I don't know. But it's like 16 hours, 30 hours on one subject.
Oh, shit.
But it's exciting. So
God
they did.
damn.
I listened to one on Jack Johnson. I had to. And by the way, Jack Johnson pardoned by Trump.
Oh, shit.
Years
What did
later.
he do?
There was some like murder, rape, or something that he apparently was innocent in, and they're always trying to get him pardoned, and then Trump randomly did it. So must have known the family or something. I don't know. But Jack Johnson, great story that I always remember about Jack Johnson. Black heavyweight boxer, scary dude. Literally has his friends with shotguns when they roll up to some of these rings because there's people yelling the N-word, like, we're going to kill you after. We're going like, it was intense, and he loved it.
What year was this?
God, I don't really know. Early 1900s.
Okay.
Like,
damn.
the films like kind of speed up in black and white. It's kind of hard, but old school. And so he was rich. He got all this wealth, and that pissed white people off.
Right.
And he would rub in their face and date white women and shit. And apparently had a bunch of women. But he had a badass car. And he was going through some southern state, I think. I forget, but some state. He was rolling through in his car. Cop fucking sees this black dude in a badass fucking ride, pulls him over. This dude's richer than most white people. And this cop pulls him over. He says, "You're speeding." He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "The ticket's, I forget, but let's say the ticket's like $25. And he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, $25. And he goes, "All right." So he goes in the glove compartment, pulls out a stack of cash. I think he was puffing a cigar. I don't know. That's what I imagine. He's puffing a cigar in a fur coat. I don't know. Nice. Might be Mayweather. But so he pulls out the stack of cash and he gives him $50. And the cop goes, "It's only 25." And he's like, "Yeah, in a few hours, I'm going to be speeding down this road again. So just take the 25. Boom.
That's fucking
Baller.
awesome. Epic, dude.
Now his life's in danger and he don't give a fuck. He's the man.
That's fucking
That's
amazing.
a fighter spirit, bro.
Is it? You think it's that ego that Mike Tyson talks about all the time?
You have to have it, I think, as a fighter to a certain degree.
You know what? Mike Tyson mentions that too. Like, I wouldn't have been the person I was without that, which is kind of, yeah, I guess it's right, man, because you got to believe in you, right?
Well, Mike, yeah, he always talks about that, like, I'm the fucking God. Oh, there's some great clips about him walking to the ring. He's scared. He's terrified. He's like a little baby.
Right.
He's walking to the ring. He's getting angry. He's building confidence. He's hitting the gloves. By the time he walks in that ring, he's a fucking God. There's a cool montage of it from years back that he's describing it. It's like a motivational video. Woo.
Dude, that motherfucker's a bad ass motherfucker. In his prime and now with the podcast, he's fucking doing it, man. And he's in the weed game, got the ranch.
Yeah, because he had some rough years.
Shout out to fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
God
hey,
damn.
Mike, we love you, Mike. And he just gains everyone's respect because something about men when someone's a savage, or was a savage at one point, but not only that, to be a savage gets a lot of men's respect because like, damn, he's the big dog. But also to see him transform his journey and be who he is now, taking DMT and the toad and like rechanging his belief system. It sounds like, but they're gonna put out a Mike Tyson movie.
Oh, yeah, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Did
you hear him describe it?
Yeah, he's getting pumped. He's
got that trailer.
Yeah, he's got to get fucking pretty beefed up.
But he talked about you're the pitter patter and you're in the hood. And did you see that
right,
part?
Yeah, I seen that.
Gave me goosebumps. I put it on my Facebook.
That's going to be badass, dude. And Mike Tyson, that's our era, right? I mean, that's, I grew up knowing this. No one could fuck with Mike Tyson, man.
Everyone used to bitch about the pay-per-view because it would last like 2 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Fuck, I paid all that money.
$35.
Yeah. We used to go to the Straw Hat Pizza in Lindsay. Shout out. I think it's closed now, but we used to go watch it there for free.
Oh, dude, yeah. Fuck yeah, on that fucking big screen. But it was a big old box. They put it on on a shelf. Remember that shit?
Yep. Yeah. That's
that was
awesome. Crazy. Well, shit, Nick, let's give a little origin story. We had someone leave us a comment, say, "Hey, man, I'm digging the podcast. I appreciate you." Name slipping me right now, a few comments, but through the Joe Rogan haters, I found this guy, and he has a cool channel. We need to subscribe to him, but just said, "Hey, I'm digging it, but what are you guys' background? What do you guys do for work, family, etc." So
you know what? Coincidentally, Jay, let me first start off with this. I was at work today, and me and Jay had talked about getting this podcast going. And I got a notification today that said, record first podcast with Jay, and it's going to be the origin story. And I was like, oh, damn, we were supposed to start this podcast today, the very first episode.
This was supposed to be our first episode. We're going to have months of preparation, buying equipment, and COVID fucked that up.
COVID fucking came and just put a wrench in shit.
So we said, let's just fucking jump on Zoom and knock this out. So our first 8 episodes, I think our first 7.
Were they?
We're Zoom, yeah. definitely up to 6, possibly 7. I think 8 was the first one in studio. 8 or 9, maybe 9 or 10. I don't know, but the last 4 or 5 has been in studio. But yeah, I'm glad we started because we got this ball rolling.
You know what? A lot of this stuff doesn't get seen behind the scenes, right? But there's a lot of work that goes into this, and this is, man, we're 3 months into this program, and we're doing damn good. So when I got that notification, I was like, oh shit, like this is cool, man. We're already 3 months into it, got over 65 videos on YouTube. And we were supposed to record our first today. So we're
ahead of the game.
We're ahead of the game.
This is awesome.
And you know, we can't thank you guys enough for liking our videos and commenting our videos and keeping us up to date. Because, you know, again, we get some shit wrong sometimes. And we appreciate when you guys log on and talk to us about the program and maybe what we can do better. And
yeah, shout out to the Water Tower Posse. You want to join the Water Tower Posse? Get at us. The Water Tower Posse, the OGs, the #1 episodes, our Lindsay crew, our Sac crew, our just California crew in general. We know some of you guys have been watching since day one. Welcome to the Water Tower Posse. We got to do something special for you guys.
Word up.
Hey, watch these Joe Rogan haters, you know, or lovers, whatever. But, you know, yeah, all your guys' support, thank you so much. And fucking rocking shit. We were talking about possibly getting some interns if you're in the Sacramento area and you like working for a couple beers. We might need to get some interns because... Well, let's tell us, how'd this start, Nick?
We need a Jamie.
Yeah.
Come on, intern Jamie.
I think we said that the last 3 episodes.
But yeah, you know what, man? It was interesting, Jay. I got a phone call in January. No, this is December. I got a phone call in December or a message. Jay Yoder. Haven't talked to this motherfucker in 8 years, maybe?
That's me, Jay Yoder.
9 years? 10 years? When was the last time we talked before that, Jay?
We actually, Nathan, a friend of ours, just posted a picture of us out on the balcony at Crawdaddy's it's a bar in Visalia, California. And yeah, all 3 of us are out there. And I think that was probably it.
Was that the last time?
That was years ago.
Man, that was almost a decade ago. So I get a random call, December, or a message. Hey, Nick, you know, I know you're in Sac. You've been out there for a while. I'm thinking about moving out there. You know, can you show me around some neighborhoods?
From San Francisco.
From San Francisco, yeah. So Jay, you know, moving from San Francisco, calls me up and says, hey, I'm thinking about going out there. And then, yeah, so he came out. We had dinner, showed him around some neighborhoods. And next thing you know, he texted me mid-January?
Before I moved here, we met. Yeah.
No, when you finally got the spot.
I moved here in January, and just told my girl I'm done with. I got in a homeless fight, a bunch of bad stuff. You know, San Francisco life, the city life will eat you up. And just going through it, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm just paying all my rent to the landlord on the commute, the train, dealing with the meth heads, the bums, the crime, the lack of police enforcement, and the government officials. So let's get the fuck out of San Francisco. I spent 8 years here, love it and hate it.
Right.
And in my 30s, I'm over it. So we moved to Sac, and that's when I hit you up. And we sat down, and you approached me. I don't know if you remember this. You approached me and said,
Bar West.
I was like, Bar West?
Shout out to Bar West.
That's where it started. But yeah, me and my girl there, just me with you. We're in for the weekend looking at places. And you were just like, were like, Jay, I kind of want to do something you're doing. And I'll be honest. I was like, fuck. I'm slammed with work. My life's chaotic. I'm trying to make it simpler here in Sacramento. Right? Well, sure enough, you mentioned, I kind of want to do something you do or you have experience in, which you didn't know I didn't have too much experience in this, but a little. But I'm a graphic designer and web designer by trade. Nick, a business owner.
Yep. Auto detailing company.
Yeah, do some car detailing. Runs and owns his own business, which is awesome. Been running for years.
Right? 6 years.
And you're like, I want to get into making marketing videos for businesses. And I thought, God, that sounds dull. God, I'm trying to be more in San Francisco. I feel like I was pretending to be someone, a techie or whatever. I was a bartender. I just had to do what I had to do to survive. But it was like, man, I'm trying to be more expressive, more creative, more myself, get a little more space here in Sac.
And I was having nachos that day. I just remembered. I think you had tacos.
And beer. But then I was like, fuck, I want to start a podcast. And let's do marketing videos too.
That's what started it. I remember that conversation clearly, Jay. And that's when it started. And so, yeah, I mean, it was another one of those conversations that I have with many people, actually. Maybe you've had the same conversation with people, but it just seemed to click differently. It was, haven't heard from this guy in fucking 10 years, and he's talking about a podcast. I've always wanted to start something very similar. It's like, bam, let's do it.
Well, yeah, and I've always heard throughout the years that you're like starting businesses, and I'm super into entrepreneurship, and that you had these mood boards and goals on the wall. And I said, hey, that sounds like me a little bit. I need to see what's up with this motherfucker. So then I move here and I end up in your garage and we're just blazing a blunt. And I start looking at your books. I'm like, dude, I read some of the same authors, and you like conspiracy books and the Japanese samurai. What's his name? I'm blanking.
Oh, I'm blanking too. God damn it, Jay.
The
five rings.
The 5 rings? Shit. Or bad representation. Whatever. Some samurai guy that's a badass that Joe Rogan suggested. That's how I heard about him. I don't know how you heard about him.
A friend of mine from San Francisco, actually. A different friend. Mm-hmm.
You have another friend from San Francisco?
I'm sorry, Jay.
Bullshit. I'm your only friend.
But, great book. Yeah, you're right. I remember that too. And yeah, for sure. We it started just clicking pretty quickly. And I think, it stems all the way back from Lindsay, California, right, Jay?
Yeah, we grew up in a small little agriculture town between Bakersfield and Fresno in the Central Valley of California, the San Joaquin Valley, along the foothills.
That's what you got to say every time, right? It's like, oh, from Lindsay.
Where?
Oh, I don't know where that. Oh, Visalia? I don't know. Oh, Tulare. There's a big ag show there. I don't know. Okay, we're about a half an hour south of Fresno. Oh, yeah. I know where Fresno's at.
Yeah. If I just say between Fresno and Bakersfield.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, Lindsay, who's that bitch?
Right.
And I'm like, oh, she's a nasty bitch. Dirty, nasty bitch.
Had her for
Lindsay.
many years.
Yeah. But we grew up there. Rough town, fun town.
Small town.
Predominantly Hispanic town.
Graduating class of 300.
Yeah, 2003.
2003. Shout out. But yeah, that just gives you an idea of how small that population was. I think at the time it was 11,000 population in the city, 10,700 or something like that.
Yeah, it was like 10,000, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is now.
I don't know what it is now
But
either.
I missed it in San Francisco. I missed the Budweiser and the 100-degree weather and the dirt. I missed the toughness, the toughness. And then I didn't want to move back there though. Like, I don't know why. It's a little too small. I experienced it. I kind of was looking for something new. My girl, she was actually down to move, but she wanted to be close to San Francisco because that's where her family's at. And Sac just seemed in between, kind of a good spot.
Right. It's that small city, big city with a small city feel.
Yeah, exactly. The nature. And it feels very valley to me. It's the most valley place I've ever lived that's similar to Lindsay.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely pockets that remind me of the Central Valley for sure. But we have some nice rivers, and we got a downtown that's not too big, but it's not small.
Yeah,
and it's a cool city, man. I like it.
Yeah, I always thought it was like a Fresno number 2, but I disagree. I know it's changing a lot too, but COVID kind of. Let's see what happens after COVID, but it's definitely like I like it way better than Fresno.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, going back to that kind of mentality is. It's funny, even tying it back to Mike Tyson's podcast. He was talking with LL Cool J, and they were talking about moving out of Queens and getting out of New York and doing things that they wanted to do and getting big, right? I mean, traveling the world and doing this type of thing. And then they start talking about, well, going back to New York and hanging with the homies and this and that. And and they're talking about like the people that are content with where they're at, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's people that just have visions of bigger things like traveling the world and going.
You
to
just
different
spill
places.
ash on the Rodecaster Pro.
Oh shit!
Oh no! Oh, it's all better. It's just a little blowing there.
Damn! What a mistake that was.
I know, but not a big deal. I'm sure
you shouldn't have got Modelo Negra, Jay.
Why? Too strong for you?
Too strong for me.
Well, you're beating me. Usually I'm the drinker here.
I'm a pussy.
I had a happy hour yesterday. So I quit my job. So oh, sorry.
Good point. No. Let's go there, Jay. And I wanted to get there, but let's jump right in.
I had a great paying job. I started as an intern with holes in my jeans and worked my way up after 6 years and got a pretty good position. I feel like I outgrew it a little bit. A great company, telecommunications company, called 2600 Hertz. Got some cool
Shout
stuff.
out.
Just self-funded. These two guys are awesome. A guy named Darren started. He's a fucking whiz. And they got this another guy, Patrick, that's running it on more of the business side. And they got a CTO named Carl, who's just a genius.
Carl, that's such a bland name.
Carl, he's not a bland person. He's very smart and very friendly, which I have never met someone so smart and so friendly in the tech environment. But I just didn't feel like a techie guy. I just felt more like a creative, more of a designer, and that's kind of I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it anymore.
Well, don't ask Jay what the company did, because it's pretty complicated. I've asked them several times and I still don't even know what the fuck they
Sometimes
do.
I don't even know, but they make telecommunication software, and they have they're, people usually go big with telecom or really small. They went right in the middle and kind of saw a market, and they got something out called com.io, which is pretty cool. You download it to your computer, and you got all these apps in there, but you could do video calls like Zoom, but better. It's going to be better. And they're still working out the kinks, but it's on its way to being something awesome, and it's designed nice, and I think I'm almost like jumping ship seeing this thing, like, damn. But I put my 2 weeks in, and it was time we're working on this podcast a lot. We're going to try to do some marketing videos like we agreed. And we got camera gear testing, and COVID's a little bit of a hiccup, but we think we could see some opportunities.
Well, first, that calls for celebration, Jay. Let's get this thing going, because this is a big moment. This is a big moment, and I think it shouldn't be overshadowed that, you had a well-paying job, great job.
That took me forever to get.
That took you forever to get. That you struggled a lot to obtain. You went through all the fucking hoops that San Francisco has to offer.
2 banana diet for a while.
Right. Ugh. And you know what? Now we're gonna hit this. We're gonna hit this pretty hard. So expect some pretty serious content. I know we mentioned that before, but now it's getting pretty serious, and congratulations, Jay. Shit, new venture. I mean, it's a new venture for both of us, but now Jay got some fire under his ass for sure.
Yeah, I just needed more time to work on this stuff, and I didn't want to neglect time with them. I'm a bit of an overachiever. I tend to like to bring on extra projects and stuff like that. But we had a happy hour yesterday. They party, and I like to party, and we handle business, and then after hours we party. And man, I can't party like I used to in San Francisco. All I know is we started at 4, and about 6, I must have passed out in our bedroom, and my girlfriend woke me up at midnight. I was like, holy shit, I've been asleep this whole time, and I was awake all night. But man, good way to go out.
Fuck yeah, that's the best way to go out.
I have no idea what I said the last hour on my blackout, but
that's the only way to go out. That's the only way to go out for sure. And you did it right. You did it right. You put your 2 weeks in. I mean, like any boss would expect that you would, because it could have went the other way. But new venture, new big things, and congrats, Jay. That's a big move, man.
Yeah, man. Quitting a job without another job lined up, scary. I have a bit of a savings, 3 to 6 months, but to make something happen. If not, I guess I'll be trying to get some jobs, but not going on unemployment, not doing any of that. We're starting a business, so we're doing all legal, and we got a business coach, and so we're trying to make some marketing videos, some documentaries. We got all the equipment. We about bought everything we need to get going, and doing this podcast, we learned a lot of video editing, and all. Could spend more time. Has been the worst enemy here.
Well, for sure. Yeah. I mean, this is what we found very quickly on, that if you're planning on starting a podcast, and sorry, I'm a little teary-eyed here because I love Jay so much, but mostly because I got smoke in my eye. But this is work, man. I think we got together, and your average person will probably think, hey, I want to start a podcast. We can bullshit for an hour. Sure, that's great. But a lot of behind the scenes, it's very time consuming. Maybe some of you guys have been following our blog. Probably not, but maybe you have. That hasn't been updated as much as we'd like. But, we've been spending a lot of time on editing the podcast and making sure that they're quality and SEO and things like that. So we're fucking well on our way, Jay.
There's a huge to-do list. And, I've tried to start a podcast so many times for years with people, and I never want to do it by myself. I don't know why. I just, split the work, especially when I was working so many hours at my job. But I just, people say they want to start a podcast, but when it comes to that work part, it's easy to get on the mic and drink a beer and smoke weed and talk shit. But
I love that part.
But, Nick, I was like, okay, let's see if you're game, man. You want to go? Because, I get obsessed.
Jay gets obsessed.
I will be at 4 a.m. going, I'm going to make this logo look better. I'm going to fucking, I'm going to edit this part, or I'm going to make another clip.
He's a graphic designer.
Yeah, but just insane. Like it's so fun that I can't stay away from it, and that's where I know where I should be. But man, it's great. And by the way, we need to make some. If you want to start a podcast, videos like how we did it, just how we set the mics up, what this Rodecaster is, and what the lighting is, and how we're improving, and even on the back end, the SEO and all that.
Well, dude, I'm glad you brought that up, because you say equipment. You say we got equipment.
I forgot. Is this a joint or a blunt, or is this a black and mild?
That is, let's just call it blunt, black and mild.
Okay. I was smoking it like a black and mild. I'm stoned.
You know what, Jay? I'm glad you brought up the equipment part, because you kind of just mentioned equipment, but kind of glossed right over that part. Shoot, man, we're going big, Jay, and you know what? I don't mean that to say we're splurging or anything like that, but we're doing a lot of research in what we're doing, and we didn't just go out and buy a fucking point and shoot camera. We bought the flagship Sony camera. We got the Rodecaster Pro. This is what you need to be a great podcasting company, which I just dropped Ash on a few minutes ago.
Yeah. And
we got a gimbal, the Zion,
Crane 3 Lab.
Crane 3 Lab, right? I mean, we're investing a lot in this opportunity that we see happening, because I think that's what it is, man. And you hear it all the time, and it's so fucking cliche, but opportunity comes a knocking, you better fucking answer that door.
Yeah. Yeah, we put some money into this stuff, this equipment, not just on the podcast, but on other stuff like some cameras and gimbals and stuff that we just mentioned, lights, whatever, extension cords, websites, and we put some money in this, and that's how I knew Nick was serious, because Nick shows up every week. We practically talk multiple times a day. It's going to get busier, I'm sure, with the other company we're going to start, but man, it's exciting, and I'm glad you show up, because I know you're down, and you putting money in, and just me and you both doing it 50-50. Feels good, man. Feels good.
Hey, we're getting it done, man, and that's beautiful. And it's it's amazing. Going back to the origins is, 10 years later, I get a phone call from a guy I haven't heard from, and he's got kind of the same dream that I've had, and we read the same material, and we come from the same place, so we have a lot of the same values, and we fucking just made it happen, man.
Nick owns a business and does car detailing, and I'm a web graphic designer that just quit his job and to try to make some dreams happen. By the way, if you want to start a podcast, go do it. I'm trying to get my cousin Colby to do redneck history. I got a redneck cousin, got a nice beard, got a little lisp, likes to drink beer and smoke. I tell you, man, I'm trying to get redneck history because he's a huge history buff, but he works like for the school district, drives bus, does food deliveries and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, go for the passion. All you have to do is 10 minutes a week or whatever you want it to be. And you could talk. You don't have to be all professional. People like that shit. Although
right.
I love history podcasts.
Well, and you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, Jay, because I ran into a random YouTube video about a rice farmer, right? And I saw this YouTube channel. I said, what the fuck is this? Rice farming? Who the fuck wants to watch that? So I click on one of his videos. It was a little entertaining, but I didn't stay on for too long. But dude, he had like 70,000 subscribers or something like that. Yeah. It's like, damn, for rice farming?
Well, there's like these history podcasts I love. There's one, a guy that gives history from an African perspective. So all the stuff that probably was X'd out of our textbooks by some old rich white guy with devil horns. But it's called HomeTeam History. Shout out to HomeTeam History. They talk about like ancient cultures that you didn't even know about. You like hear the country, but you don't know. It's awesome. You got to check it out. You love it. And then another podcast I really like, and these are like low production. They're getting better, but like they're just doing it. That's the most important thing is if you guys want to do something, just fucking go do it. Man. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be this. Like fucking do it. We're all going to be dead. And you got to go for it. And you could always get another job. Maybe. I don't know about COVID. But you know what? You can. And another podcast I love, a little PraveenMohan, I'm probably saying that wrong, is a guy in India, and he does I believe he's in India, but he does it all based off India and finding ancient artifacts and new temples. They discover so much shit in India. And India is one of the oldest civilizations. They talk about South Africa, but I know India is second, and sometimes some people argue for even older, possibly.
Right.
So,
well, dude, and you know what? Man,
shout out to those guys.
Great point about doing what you love to do and what you know about, right? Because when you know something, you got to share that shit, man.
But you don't even need to be an expert.
No, you don't need to be an expert.
About shit we barely even know.
But, someone with history information, right? We talk all the time about how you can't trust the media, right? Media fucking bias on everything. So what you can do is fucking listen to these people.
Is this the weed one?
Yes.
Sorry, okay. Put that by the green shit.
We'll point it this way. And so, I mean, like these guys, man, who else to go and watch and learn information from someone who studies that and knows all about that, right? I mean, odds are their bias is not very heavy in that particular topic. Whereas a media source will grab something like that, spin it in whatever the fuck direction they want to spin it in. Like, why not get your information from these people,
Yeah, and I've been addicted to TikTok. We're going to be up on TikTok soon, but I've been addicted. But it's awesome because you just get people's, like little like family story. They're recording their family every day, or they're doing something on the side. A lot of conspiracy guys, a lot of history guys out there just spewing stuff that I look up and go, wow, that's interesting. But it doesn't, we love Hotboxin, we love Joe Rogan, we love The Fighter and the Kid and Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, but Theo Vaughn, great podcast. But you don't need to always watch the big ones. Some of these guys like PraveenMohan and HomeTeam History, it's like, I love that shit. And it feels kind of cool because it's not like blown up. They get way more views than us. But, we're growing. We're still small. We only had like...
Damn Skippy.
We used to average like 20 to 30, sometimes 10. Right. And now we're about 80, 90.
Almost 100, man.
Yeah, on our episodes and our clips. They're hit or miss. Some.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe, bro. But, check out our old podcast. The one with Lindsay living in a van in Cuba, though. It was Zoom.
Oh, that one was good.
It's Zoom, so the audio is horrible and everything, but... Fucking cool ass, talking to Craig and talking about white missionaries, and
it's been a fucking fun ride already, and we're just getting started, Jay. And you know what? Going back to just fucking do it, man. Get a camcorder. You can use your cell phone if you really wanted to.
We have
right, and we have, yeah, exactly. And so for sure, man, for sure. If you're thinking about doing a podcast, comment on the links below. We'll be happy to talk about what we've done already. And again, we're just getting started, but we're kind of taking the proper steps and doing the proper research and all this shit. So
we did unboxing videos. I don't know why you kind of talked me into it. I felt stupid doing it, especially with the cell phone. I was like, what are we doing? Whatever. Guess it gets views. But
practice, goddammit.
But I think we should add do a behind the scenes for everybody and show hey, this is what we started with. I mean, you could start with Zoom, literally $15 a month. You get a subscription. Bam. Then you slowly buy a microphone like we did. Then you slowly buy a Rodecaster. Then you slowly buy lights. You buy Nick got a Sony 6600. And it's we got GoPros now. People are donating. Shout out to Gabriel Prieto. I think he's mailing us a GoPro.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, Lindsay guy, always super positive from his social media. Just seems like always,
day one follower, man.
A lot of people like to hate, but we're paying attention to those people that are spewing positivity.
Fuck yeah, man. And we are working on a Lindsay documentary too. So, we will definitely highlight our real origin and where we really came from soon enough.
We were going to go to Seattle tomorrow, right?
No, next weekend.
To go check out Chaz, which has been renamed to whatever.
And it's being dismantled.
It's being dismantled, but we still might go and I don't know. We'll have to see, but we were planning to go, but since they're dismantling, it's like, fuck, do we spend all those hours in a car? I think it might still be dope.
Fuck yeah, road trip in the least.
Yeah, see the post and get some experience being out in the field.
But you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Jay, because I remember listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, of course, and he was talking to, who was he talking to? I forget.
Jocko?
No, it wasn't Jocko. That was a great podcast. Maybe we could talk about that in a second.
Talked about it all last week, my friend.
Oh, on your end, but I watched it now.
Oh,
I hadn't watched it then.
Oh, okay.
It was great, man.
Was it Russell Peters that was talking about?
No, it was a journalist. I forget who it was, who got canceled from something and then started his own thing. Do you remember? I know you watched that same one.
Oh, it's not Tim Dillon. That's a comic. It's Tim Cast.
Tim Cast, yeah, I think it was, right. It was Tim Cast. And he was saying, as a professional journalist, he gets DMs all the time and emails all the time. And, hey, man, I want to do what you do. I love what you do, right? And he says, okay, well, there's this war going on or whatever, this thing going on in Turkey. Fly over there, cover it, make some material, sell it to all the news organizations.
I can't. I was hoping you'd buy everything for me.
Exactly. Oh, I don't know. My schedule's not going to work with that. And it's like, no, if you want to do it, just do it, man, and go.
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it, baby? And that's kind of what we thought. We were like, fuck, Chaz. We talked about it. We know someone that lives over there. Fuck it. Let's roll. Fuck it. Let's do it. Take our new fucking gimbal and fuck around.
Yeah, I was trying to buy tickets to Panama, but apparently the Panama airports are all closed. We're fucking go. I love to travel. Been around the world, and we're traveling, Nick. We're going out of the country.
We're about to.
But, it's fucking shit's crazy, man. It's just ramping up so fast, and we can't thank you guys enough for all the support.
Absolutely, man. And so much.
You know who I've been kind of a leftist kind of a news source that I really respect and trust is Abby Martin with Empire Files. She used to work for RT, and I think she quit because it's a Russian-owned media company with the Ukraine war. I think it might have been her, but a few of them quit because they were kind of getting forced into doing what Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and all those fuckers do. So
assholes.
Yeah. So she started Empire Files, and I binged last night. I haven't watched it in a few years, but she was just talking about the Afghanistan war and broke it down from Bush to Obama to Donald Trump, updated, and just talked about how it's not a war to be won, and everyone knows that since day one.
Right.
It's a war to keep going. You're never going to win, but they started making contract deals with like the Taliban, even though Al Qaeda is what they were going after originally. So they go in there. Also, all the poppy seeds, all the heroin that comes out of there, now it's number one, I think, for heroin.
Right. When
the U.S. took over. Interesting. There's something else they have. They have the stuff that goes on cell phones. I forget what it's called that they mine for.
Oh, Bitcoin?
No, it's a like a ingredient you put in cell phones. It comes from the earth and it's for like the chips and everything.
I see.
I forget what it's called, but
Uranus.
Yeah, maybe. Bitcoin. I heard computers and phone Bitcoin, but
mining.
Yeah, but we mine Bitcoins. I got virtual mining, but real mining for the stuff. And there's a huge like 3 trillions worth in Afghanistan.
Wow.
So and there's another market I forget, but they got these 3 markets according to the U.S. So it's obviously strategic.
But you know what? Some will call that conspiracy, right? I mean, some will hear that shit and be like, oh, well, how do you know that, right?
Describe a conspiracy.
Well, that's right. Somebody doesn't understand something.
I conspire to what? Do something,
Well, this is true, right? Well, I mean, your kind of cliche idea of what a conspiracy is, right?
Yeah, but if you look up the definition, that's what it should mean, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, right.
But it kind of morphed, I guess.
I guess it did. Yeah, it's funny. I never even thought about that, Jay.
I stole that from Joe
Fucking
Rogan. No, Joe Rogan talked about it. But it's... fuck. Well, let's talk about it. What's her name? Gladell Maxwell? What's her? I can't say the first name.
Yeah. Well, shit. I don't know her name either.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein's right-hand woman who went missing. Biatch. They arrested her this week. FBI. And she's apparently got names. We're hearing the new name. We know about Bill Clinton. I don't know about Hillary, but she's got some shit going on her side too. And then you hear about Prince Andrew. And then you recently heard a couple more names. One being the last prime minister of Israel. Which I always think Israel is behind America. I think America's the front for what Israel wants. Yeah, I know. That was not conspiracy. Now!
There we go.
Shit, I forgot the conspiracy bun. But yeah, so
it was red last time, I think.
Who knows? But yeah, the name Obama's come up. Obama apparently stayed at that New York spot, I guess.
Wow.
Don't know if that's true. Just from what people have been sending me stuff. It's awesome. Thank you guys for sending me these things.
Are we gonna see a random suicide?
I don't think so. I think if there's a random suicide, people will lose their fucking shit.
Well, they can lose their shit. That doesn't matter.
Nothing happens, right?
Nothing happens.
People lost their shit with Epstein. But 2 in a row, it's just going to be...
If Epstein knew some shit, she knows some shit. You gotta believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's... I don't know. I think obviously there's a list of names. Their thing was blackmailing people. But got her New Hampshire. She paid $1 million in cash for this house and was hiding out.
What a crazy bitch.
They must have been tracking her for a while, getting the legal paperwork done, I assume, and then made the right move and then got her.
Dude, you know what? That makes me so happy, Jay.
Well, you were telling me like when did they get her sooner, right?
Right.
And I think that's what I first thought. But you got to realize she has money. If it was me and you, some broke guys, it would bust down our door and would be in jail tonight because even if we make bail, we probably can't make it. And if we do make bail, maybe we'll go to Tijuana and they'll find us. Like we don't have much money to leave, but she's probably got passports. So if they don't have the proper legal paperwork, I assume she could get bail. I don't know if she can still, but then she'll be on a plane. God knows Cuba. Who knows where?
But you know what? I also got to think is she got arrested. This is a year, maybe a little over a year that Epstein got arrested and whatever happened there. There's still people out there that are all over these fucking lists that were in the documentary even, which is now public, and who knows what's not public. So there's still fucking names out there that, fuck, if you're gonna arrest her, arrest all these fuckers.
The left is gonna have some trouble here.
What do you mean?
The left, man. You got Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary. You got Donald, who was a lifelong Democrat, now a Republican. I guess a fake Republican, I like to call him. But I think Donald's probably gonna skate through. Because he would have.
He always does.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's the things you hear about Donald compared to some of these other guys seem a little. I like that I'm calling him Donald. Yo, D-man. But I don't know. He could go down too. But what does that do for the left? The right's going to gain all the trust.
Interesting.
Which they have been slowly these last few years, I think.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't follow that too much, but you're right. I mean, Donald Trump was a long-time Democrat.
Till 2009 or something like that, he switched.
And even, dude, I remember taking a class in college, and they're like, it's like, I don't remember the specifics, but it's like Democrats had Republican views, Republican had, it was like switched like way back in like the 20s or something.
I heard that, yeah, like apparently they switched because if you look back, the people that ended slavery, the people that put all these things through were Republicans. Lincoln was Republican, and then a lot of Democrats did the opposite, and then they switched. There's also arguments that switch is just some bullshit history to make everyone happy on one side. But it does seem like their views, I can't think if the one specifically did tend to cross over. I'd have to do more research. It's been years. But who fucking knows? Like, is a Democrat today and a Republican today like anything from the original guys?
No, hell no. And they're very more similar than they are different.
Yeah, and I saw a George Washington, Tim Kennedy, who I like, a Special Forces U.S. Soldier and also ex-UFC fighter. Crazy guy, awesome guy. But he posted something about George Washington. Now, George Washington had slaves and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's perfect, but he apparently like led an army against the British, I think, and he didn't take any pay. You know, like, and he's out there on the horse with the sword, and I'm sure he's behind the lines. I don't know, but it's like, because Teddy Roosevelt was trying to get his hands dirty too, and it's like, man, you just don't see any leaders like that anymore. No, it's a different ball game.
Right? Hey, that was probably something else. Huh? To have your fucking leader there with you in battle. Bush
was a National Guard, so he ain't going nowhere. Did Clinton serve?
Fuck, I don't
Doubt
know,
it.
Jay.
I think there was just like hippies. Then you don't know shit about politics, and then. You just know Donald Trump's a rapist somehow. Right. He's got some secret information I don't know. But Obama didn't serve, and then and Donald Trump obviously didn't serve. Crazy. And then you have like McCain who served. He lost to Obama. Him and Trump had the wars against each other, and man, I would like to see that again. Even the Kennedys. Right? Shit, the Kennedys went to war.
Did they?
Yeah. One was I forget which one. One was like stranded on an island, like his plane crashed or some shit. Like some crazy war stories. And you know, I know the British. They some of the, I think Prince Harry with them. They went to war and they were trying to get to front line, but I think they kept them back. You know. But yeah, man, it's.
So what happened there? Why did that stop? You think?
One, I think if I had to guess, this is totally me just on the spot, bro science, but I think that I honestly think that entertainment happened. I think football players became millionaires, basketball players, these huge events, these huge arenas, the distractions, the reality shows, the music, even before the reality shows.
Okay.
Like I think entertainment started to consume us, and purchasing started to consume us. So money changed everything. I think if some of this shit happened back in the day, there'd be some motherfuckers hanging.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because remember your parents saying like, "Oh, I can go to the store and buy fucking a bag of Cheetos and a soda and a candy for fucking 30 cents."
Well, now we say that shit. I used to buy it for a few bucks. Yeah.
But you know, it was like an immediate ramp up of inflation. Like fucking quick.
I don't think I don't know. From like I said, it's been years, but I think Jimmy Carter did a warning about over consuming. Because you look at it, we started consuming, we became the buyers of the world market, and then we outsourced to China because it's cheaper, because everything just got so expensive, and I think it's coming back. I really do believe it's coming back with like Tesla and Jocko Wilkins, and
Jocko's talking about it, right?
I'm probably messing his last name up, but you know, it's interesting. But yeah, I think probably from the 70s, they got us off the gold standard. And 75, I think. And they're talking about bringing it back, trying to get it back on the gold standard. Right. And so they can't just print fucking money whenever they like. And because guess what? When people print money, they just put it in their pockets.
Right.
I'm assuming there's a lot of money missing. And every year it seems like more and more money goes missing. I don't got it. I ain't got it either. Shit, they give us $600 and they expect us to suck their dick. Dude, fucking, okay. I don't know. Did I talk about this on a podcast? The commercial? I was up late one night. This white bitch comes on with a red fucking shoulder pad blazer. I knew what I was getting into. I said, oh, fuck, politics. I'm here stoned, had a rough day, drinking some whiskey, trying to enjoy some comedy. And what comes on? A fucking Donald Trump commercial saying, text this number to wish your president happy birthday. Have I talked about this?
Oh, shit. No.
I was like, bitch, wish me happy birthday, motherfucker. Right? And I don't care if it's Hillary, Bill, any of you motherfuckers. Why am I wishing you a happy birthday?
Dude.
I pay you I give you all my life for most of our lives we work, and then I give you a large portion of that money. And then I start a business. I have to give you 40% sometimes, you know, unless I do dumb shit like you do and use loopholes and stuff. But it's like, I was so mad, dude. I went from happy, like, today was a long day, sipping whiskey, smoking a joint. And then it was like, Donald Trump, wish him a happy, but he wasn't even on the fucking commercial. He had some bitch do it for him. Fucking text him. Text me happy birthday.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not like a Trump hater like everyone. I'm not the biggest fan either, but like, I don't know. I don't care. Obama, get over yourself.
But is that a dictatorship?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like glorifying yourself.
I think they used to do that. I'm assuming back in the day, like, oh, happy birthday, Nixon, all the kids write a card or something. I don't know. But it just, times have changed. We don't need that shit.
Times have definitely changed, my friend. And you mentioned Elon Musk. What is the plan, Jay? Let's get conspiracy mode. What's the plan? Elon Musk sending people to space, shit fucking burning down, our oceans being polluted, forests fucking getting destroyed. What
else is new?
This planet is being destroyed.
It's being destroyed, but also Joe Rogan had some expert talk about why we don't hear about the ozone layer anymore.
Right.
And he's like, that was a big deal when we were growing up, and apparently in Australia, you can still feel it. That's what Joe was saying. I don't know, the sun feels different over there. That's apparently where it's at. But
have you heard of the pole shifting?
Yeah, which is normal typically.
Well, dude, it hasn't happened in fucking 70,000 years.
Is it 70? Yeah, I know every 70,000 or something happens.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, yeah, but she was talking about like, yeah, they made the adjustment and got that shit out, hairspray and all the aerosol cans, that chemical, and apparently it's old news now.
Hairspray.
Remember it was hairspray?
Yeah, that's
aerosol. They had this chemical.
That's fucking.
She was on Joe Rogan recently, but the guy that made the chemical is also the guy that put lead in gasoline. How funny is that? Nice. So they made him pull that out, but he made this chemical for refrigerators, because apparently refrigerators they needed this chemical that whatever they were using, when it leaked it would kill everybody. Oh, nice. So they went from ice boxes to fridges, but there was that shit wasn't working out. So he created this chemical that was non-toxic, so if it broke it wouldn't kill everybody. And then just so happened to be put in aerosol, and then we realized it was bad, and they didn't know that shit, so you can't really hate on them too much, but.
No, of course. I mean, we have to go through these fucking transitional periods, right? Where we learn not all the time we learn, but sometimes we do. But dude, ultimately, when this planet, has maybe a few hundred years, maybe 500 years until fucking our oceans are depleted of natural wildlife and our wilderness is burned down.
I have a feeling we'll be all right.
I don't know.
I have a strange feeling we're going to be just fine, because I've been hearing that. And my mom even tells me, I heard about we're not going to get Social Security when I was younger. And the same shit you guys are hearing.
That's 30 years. I'm talking 500 years.
Oh, well, yeah, I think we'll still be fine. The only thing that's going to fuck us up is an asteroid, some aliens, or some goddamn stupid leaders.
Well, where do you think we'll be with space exploration in 500 years, though?
Dude, so when I was younger... it's gonna be crazy if as long as the suit and ties don't mess it up. But
they'll be up there.
They'll buy the ticket. The only one's like afford it. But when I was younger, conspiracies, I was into conspiracies all the time. But and I always wish they were real. And some of them I knew were probably bullshit. But they're fun. They're entertainment. That's how I treat them. But now that I'm 34, I almost wish conspiracies weren't real, because we got the Navy releasing UFO videos, which they always denied. You got a Space Force. I just saw a Space Force commercial where it's like futuristic as fuck, which I'm all for, but it's scary. And you got SpaceX. You got it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, dude, they say the military is 50 years ahead of what they give to the public.
Yeah.
So they got some shit, man. So if they have a Space Force, just imagine what they have that they need a Space Force for.
You ever hear the story about Nixon taking I think it was Nixon. Yeah, Nixon one night, if you haven't listened to the Nixon tapes, please watch this documentary called The Nixon Tapes.
You mentioned that last time, Jay, and I couldn't find it.
They used to be on Netflix. I'm sure they pulled it off, but trust me, I'll look for it, and if I can find it, I'll leave a link in the description.
Okay.
But he was so paranoid, he recorded the whole White House so he could listen on his workers and people in his cabinet. Well, he forgot I was recording him, and so got the hold of it, made a documentary. And he's a bigot. He's sexist. He's racist. He's
shocking.
He's just sounds like your dumb drunk uncle. But apparently one night jumps in the car. I don't know if he had cocktails. I like to believe he did, and goes picks up one of his friends in Florida or somewhere in the middle of the night.
So and he's telling this story?
No. So I think it was Secret Service or something. This got leaked, and then it years later came out. And so he ditched Secret Service because he didn't inform him. Goes and picks up his friend and goes, "Hey, you want to see some aliens?" And then drives him to a base, like an Air Force base or something. I want to say it's Florida, but I don't know. I think he might have drove cross state or something. It was like crazy. And then he shows his face to the guards. They're like, "What the fuck?" Okay, go in. And they contact Secret Service, and Secret Service gets there after so many hours. They were a little late, and then they get him out and the friend out. And they were like all pissed off.
But they saw aliens?
I don't know, but that's apparently the story. He took a friend to go see some shit. And man, Nick, can you become president? And like, I'm like, yes, we'll drive cross country tonight. Yeah, I don't care.
Let's go Area 51. We call it Area 50 now.
Well, it's kind of like when you, I don't know, I've seen aliens. I've done DMT. Those are aliens.
What are aliens though? Dude, this is what I think too. Why are they, shows like Ancient Aliens, right? You ever watch that show?
I watch it only when Action Bronson and his friends are watching it on Vice.
Okay, so Ancient Aliens is like basically the show about aliens, right? You know all about that, right? So why are they even having shows like this, right? Are they trying to desensitize us to something they're trying to reveal eventually? Because you watch these shows and it's like, damn, that's convincing as fuck.
Ancient Aliens is pretty old now, I think.
Oh, it is old, but it's
like
it's
10 plus years.
Fucking convincing. You watch that shit and you're like, oh damn, fuck, how can I not believe that shit?
I watched a debunking video back in the day, and it kind of turned me off of it. I like watching Action Bronson, watching it because he gets high and watch. But there's some guys on there that I think have turned out to be kind of quacky. But there's also some guys like Graham Hancock, which I always mention to you, who's on there. I think he probably regrets it now. But a lot of this stuff is interesting. The Samaritans, the first civilization we could track back to, they had the 10th planet, right? Nibiru, and with the I'm forgetting the names of the giants. Anyways, but I was actually watching that story the other night. It's the oldest story and that we know of, and it's long and it's hard to get through.
Sumerians, you mean?
Yeah. Did I say Samaritans? Get Samaritans? Yeah, Sumerians. And they tell a story. I keep falling asleep through it, but it has a flood story. Gee, where did the flood story come from? I don't know.
Right.
Look at the first version, not the second or third. And it's just interesting, man. It's interesting. Who the fuck knows? And they're finding shit all the time that push our history timeline farther and farther and farther back. We don't know shit.
That's the thing. Does somebody know? Do you think somebody knows?
Dude, so kind of this HomeTeam History guy I keep talking about, I do think whether it was Europe versus Africa, because you had Egypt was a powerhouse, and there was some knowledge there, some esoteric knowledge. Esoteric, right? Esoteric is what I watch. Nice. But esoteric. And, some knowledge that seemed to transition. But shit, the Egyptians probably lost it. It's like the Freemasons. They say they kind of have a lot of stuff with King Solomon's temple and Egypt. The Kabbalah with Judaism. It's some interesting connections there.
Exactly. But thousands of miles apart.
Yeah, but they were communicating. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Jews were enslaved by the Egyptians. So to build the temples, apparently. Right. So I do definitely think that I think someone I think it was Greek, I forget who it was, went over and talked about this great lake under the pyramid. There's no lake there now, but what is, I don't know. And they're finding these huge shafts under near Stonehenge and other places in the world. And
you get excited about those shafts, don't you?
So excited. Shafts. But yeah, so it's just so much shit's going on, dude, and there's just new information every day, and it's just take it with a grain of salt. Don't get caught up in the headlines and just kind of check it out. But things are changing.
Well, you're just talking about LiDAR. LiDAR is amazing fucking technology, man. Flying over a fucking deep fucking infested forest, and locating pyramids and locating structures and locating old communities. That's going to change everything. LiDAR's already changing shit. We already see it. And it's exposing some shit. It's pretty cool stuff, man.
Yeah, they found I was watching a History Channel or something, Discovery Channel. They took the LiDAR down to, I want to say Peru, with the Incan Empire, where they're looking for gold because, the city of gold, and the Spanish came and they fucking booked it to the hills with the gold. And he said, fill this room up with gold or I'm going to kill your king, or, I forget exactly, but, that's what the Spanish knew. There's some gold, and they hid that shit. Right. And there's always the story of El Dorado, the city of gold, which could possibly be in California, it could be down in South America, who knows? But they took LiDAR down and they found some new communities. Just a guy who had a drone. He was just one man dude, and he had a drone.
Nice.
And they went up there, got the machetes, and they didn't find gold, but they found some stuff.
Dude, Central America, there's some amazing fucking history there, man. Moctezuma and, exposing the gold to Cortez. And Cortez was a crazy motherfucker and went in there and fucking killed Moctezuma.
Yeah, dude, that hardcore history I watched, I listened to that. Dude, it goes into detail. It's insane.
Oh, dude, I studied all that shit. It's fucking amazing.
Moctezuma was the king at the time, right?
Yeah,
he was the Aztec king or Mayan.
Right, Aztec.
So he fucked up. He tried to test them, and as they took over villages and got closer, right? He then decided to invite them in,
right?
To try, and that was the big. Never invite a white dude into your house. Be creepy, but no, like that was because once they were in, then they were like, "Oh, you're our prisoner."
Yep. Trapped his ass.
Yeah, and then and his people were like a rebellion against him for it.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. He had so many enemies, because he was basically a dictator, right? He was
just like Cortez in a way.
Right. He controlled everything, and so when Cortez reached out to the outer villages, like, "Hey, I want to, rebel against this guy." Fuck yeah, we're all in.
Yeah.
He had it coming.
Well, and then Cortez was having his disagreements with Spain, and other people were trying. Spain was sending other people like, "Hey," because they
actually wanted Cortez back.
Yeah,
they told him, "Hey, you failed the mission. Come on back."
He's like, "Fuck you."
And he said, "Fuck you. I'm staying."
Yeah, but
crazy fucker, man.
I would recommend going to Hardcore History and any of the subjects, but if you can find that,
how the fuck did we get here, Jay?
What, in my attic?
No, talking about fucking Aztecs.
Who knows, man? The weed's flowing, the beer's flowing, just having a good time. But I don't know, man. I fucking can't say enough about hardcore history. Just the details you get. Even talking about like what Montezuma was hearing while they were on the beach still having little battles with the local villages.
Right.
What he was hearing. And then some of the villagers were like, "Yeah, fuck Montezuma. Let's join up with you guys." And
amazing. And didn't know any language. And there's always that saying about they had weapons, Aztecs didn't have weapons, that's how they won. Weapons really didn't mean shit back then because it was so they found that it was so humid that their gunpowder wouldn't ignite. Mm-hmm. So weapons weren't even a huge factor. It was all about that communication with the outer villages and really rebelling against this fucking powerful leader that they didn't like.
Yeah, and they were having trouble bringing cannons in, and and then with the small quarters of the city and how it was on the lake, like they had some problems. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just like cut and dry. Like I always thought it was just cut and dry. They went in there, they fucking rocked them. They were like the badasses with the technology, and then you look into like it could have possibly went another way. Maybe eventually would have gone that way. The more Spanish that came over, but I don't know. History could have been a lot different. You never know.
You know what's badass is maybe not so badass. I don't know. I don't know if it's the British Museum or something, but Moctezuma gave Cortez his crown, and it was this elaborate fucking crown. I mean, just badass headdress, man. And he gave it to him as a gift, hoping that he would leave. Right, that was the idea. Bring him over for dinner, give him this crown. Hopefully, they'll leave. And supposedly, some museum has that crown somewhere.
It's not on public display, or
I think you can see it. Yeah, I think you can. That'd be badass to see.
Hopefully, you can find an image of it, throw it up. But that's just shows a different mentality of the Aztecs versus the Spanish.
Right.
Because Spanish are like, the crown ain't gonna do shit. I gotta pay off the king. I gotta pay for these boats. I gotta pay for these people, and I want to get rich.
Right.
And everyone else wants to get rich, and we don't care down to the last piece of gold we want. And I think that just shows the different kind of mind structure, because they're like, "Oh, you got a crown, dude. It should be good."
So going back to conspiracy and these civilizations like the Sumerians, early Mayans, or early civilizations like that Olmecs, right? That's study these gods that are very similar. Where
Olmecs.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of Olmecs.
The what are those called? The
Olmecs.
I know, but the statue, they call it a certain thing. Those big old heads.
Oh, I thought they call them the Olmec heads or something.
Yeah, I forget what they call them. But anyways, where do those Spanish fit into that, right? Because obviously the fact that Moctezuma would do something like that was part of a kind of just a culture, right? That was kind of that culture there. But Spanish had that different culture. Where did that culture come from?
What do you mean?
Because
why were they different?
Yeah, why were they so different? As far as like wanting to take over, they had weapons. They were advanced in technology. They had weaponry. They had all this shit. And the argument is there's two different groups of aliens, right? And one group came and, built pyramids and told you about life and how to, grow food and then this and that. And then there's another set of aliens that came down and said, no, we got to fuck those people up. Conspiracy.
Yeah, apparently there's like up to 50 species of aliens. Right. Or something. Yeah, and there's some underground. I don't know. I can't keep up different dimensions.
Gotta make sense though, right?
Gray men and there's like good, but apparently there's good and bad. And man, we're sounding like Alex Jones a little bit, but which I like Alex Jones a lot. Dude, Alex Jones, the last time he was on Joe Rogan's like 3-4 hours. I've watched that so many times. I just get so high and drink.
I've never listened to that guy.
So entertaining. It's so entertaining because he's just also a goofball having fun.
Okay.
But and he's drunk and high, and it's funny, and he gets pissed off and angry.
We're better, Jay.
Yeah, but Alex Jones, we'll have you on, bro. We'll probably get us yanked off, but we'll do it. But no, I don't know, maybe aliens or whatever. But I think on a smaller, minor scale, is that like it's. You had Europe, you had the Spanish versus the Portuguese, the French, the British, the Germans, the Germanic tribe, which was Prussia, I think at the time. I'm not sure about that, but you had the Russians, you had people in Ukraine. There's all these different types of people that were fighting for power. I mean, World War I was created because who got assassinated?
I don't know, but that was probably thousands of years after Olmecs and Sumerians.
Well, the Spanish that went to the Aztecs were way after the Olmecs, because the Aztecs were way after the Olmecs.
Right.
So, but I'm saying like probably with the Spanish and Aztecs specifically, I think it was Europe was competing with each other, and they knew they had to get these trade routes and slave, and I think it was just competition. That was very capitalistic, I assume, but or more of a dictator. But they just were going, grab more land. Whoever has the most land wins. Whoever gets the most resources, whoever gets the most gold wins. Then we could, because you see these different places in Europe be strong, and then all of a sudden this happens, and they're weak, and then, it's just crazy.
You know what? And it's what a time to be alive, huh, Jay? That would have been fucking crazy to be alive at that time.
Nah, no, thank you.
Right?
I'm cool right here.
But dude, what a trip, huh? You jump on this fucking ship with maybe 20 other guys. Starving, living with rats on the ship. Fuck, that must have been fucking insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. Fucking crazy times. But at the end of the day, you could concentrate on that bad shit. It was just If it wasn't this side, it was the other side. It wasn't this side, and I do think history has been changed. I think there's something with the Egyptians or something with the continent of Africa that's being held. In my just personal opinion, the Middle East, I think, knows a lot more than they act like they know. But at the end of the day, you can focus on that. But sometimes you just got to focus on your day to day and the good and anything good happening in your life.
Right. No. Great point, Jay. And bringing it back to kind of just this is all good, man. Me and you having these conversations and being able to talk about what we want to talk about. It's just fucking amazing, man. I love it.
And at the end of the day, you guys, if you guys want to start something, man, check out Checo on Instagram. He just looks at the moon and just rants, And a little depressing. No, it's great though, but I love it. I'm like, man, this is basically my entertainment each week or each night whenever he puts it up.
You know what? I got a buddy who goes to the Sacramento River every single night. No bullshit. Every single night he has a routine. He goes there from about 7 to 10 p.m. Sits on the river by himself, contemplates, smokes a little bit of weed.
Great. I love it.
And you know what? He talks about having not conversation, but he says he knows the animals there. He has the same ducks that come up to him every time, same kind of wildlife that comes up. Raccoons.
Damn, we need to get that dude's weed,
dude. But you know what? When you expose yourself to nature like that on a daily basis, I believe him, man. I believe that those animals get. I see that guy every single day for the last fucking 3 years.
They're probably this motherfucker got some bread. Let's go over there.
Oh yeah, well for sure. Yeah.
Who knows? I don't. No, it's good. At one of my birthdays, I went up north of San Francisco where they didn't. I found an Airbnb cabin. I went glamping, but I went by myself. It was rainy. No one was out there, so it was cheap. No cell service and no Wi-Fi. I stayed up there for about 3-4 days for my birthday by myself. Had a bottle of whiskey, had some Bob Marley herb,
nice.
and some steaks to cook up on this little barbecue.
That's totally nature.
And I went walking by myself, saw a fucking bear and a cub.
Oh shit!
My pants. It was a black bear. So
my pants.
I just walked around there and then I was like, "Don't run!" And I just backtracked and booked it. But once I saw a cub, I got scared. I saw them before they saw me.
Good.
No, it was bad because
That
I
could've-
saw them and then they looked like, ah.
Oh, I see. I
was
see.
like, ah.
That's some scary shit.
But it was a great moment of reflection. I still have a list of things I wrote down, things to improve on, things I still need to improve on, but things that I like, things to help me. I even remember thinking about things in a relationship to help me that actually apply in my relationship today, which is insane. That was years ago. But anyways, man, it's if you guys want to do something, go for it. This is the time. COVID's slowing everything down. Everything's online. Everyone's at home trying to watch some shit, bored. Put some good shit out there. Whatever you want. Fucking, it could be anything.
Right. Anything. Exactly. I mean, positive is great. I've been following a couple positive Instagram pages and.
Hey, you want to get negative? Get negative.
Fuck
Whatever.
it. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Do whatever the fuck you want to
Just
do.
fucking do it. And if maybe you'll have a following, maybe you won't.
You're going to be on your deathbed one day and you're like, fuck. And, I've been saying a lot to myself doing this podcast. It's nervous putting ourselves out there, especially drinking and smoking. We say some dumb shit. And, but it's also freeing. It feels good. But it's scary, but it feels good. I think every week for the first 4 weeks, every time we release an episode, I was like drinking myself to sleep. Like, oh shit. What'd I say this time?
Same.
And I don't review them half the time. But, it's like, especially in the PC world, it's scary. But, it feels so free and it just feels so good. And I keep telling to myself, like, if not me, then who?
Well, and
if not me, then who?
Right.
If I'm not doing this, then who is? I could be this guy. Why not? I want to do this.
I think about that all the time. You know what? And we have to get a good friend of ours on the podcast to talk real conspiracies. Arthur Lua.
Arthur Lua, shout out.
Arthur Lua, this motherfucker. You know what? One day he told me something that'll live with me for the rest of my life. And maybe we could finish on this, Jay, is I had a motorcycle. Very young on. I went and took the certification program with the CHP, learned how to ride this bitch, took the test, got the motorcycle license, all this shit, right? So I was like, I know how to ride this motorcycle. One day I was moving. I needed a truck. He had a truck. I said, hey, let me borrow your truck. I need to move. He said, okay, well, let's trade. Give me your motorcycle for the day. I'll give you my truck for the day. I said, you never rode a motorcycle in your life. And he said, well, yeah, if you can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
And I said,
wait, what does that mean?
I said, okay.
Nick could do it. I could do it.
Here's my fucking helmet.
Yeah.
And I gave him my helmet and he fucking, dude, he took off. He said he rode around town for a little bit and the next day he fucking took off to the mountains.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that lived with me for the rest of my life. Like, yeah, if you can do it, why the fuck can't I do it?
Yeah, if someone does it and it's easy to be like, oh, I can't be that person. You can. Like, honestly, we could all run 100 miles if we want. Fuck, it's going to take years and dedication. People are just more dedicated than most people.
Well, it's what you love to do.
Yeah.
If you love to do it and you have a passion for it, fucking do it.
Great. Well, that wraps up the episode, guys. We were supposed to have a guest. We kind of just ranted, but we love you guys. Nice virtual hug for you. And chill out, Joe Rogan Posse. But hey, Water Tower Posse, we love you. And we got some things coming for you in the future. Hit subscribe, hit the alert, and give us a follow.
And we'll see you all next week.
All right. Love ya.
Peace.